Today's topic is writing style, in particular word choice, and the focus is on word pairs that writers often get wrong. If you have 5 minutes, I've got 5 tips to help you use words better, pick the right word, and not look dumb to editors and readers. I once read that writing style is the sound that words make on paper. And when you think about it, words are the fundamental building blocks of everything that we do. So if we don't choose the right words that convey the right feel and the right message, then our writing style is not going to be what we want it to be and what readers want it to be. The truth is that making the kind of style that you want, the kind of sound that you want your words to make on paper or on the screen as it is these days, there are a number of factors involved in it. The first one is grammar. And make no mistake, grammar is important, and I've said this before, you need to know the rules before you can break them. Because grammar means those rules that govern the use of our language. And changing the grammar use changes the meaning. The second factor is syntax, and syntax is nothing more or less than the rules surrounding the order of words in a sentence. And if you change the order of words, again, you can change the meaning of your sentence. The next one is punctuation, and I don't think this needs any more explanation. The meaning of your sentence will change dramatically depending upon how you punctuate it. And the last one is word choice. Making the right word choice can make all the difference. And it's this word choice that I want to talk about today. Over the last 30 plus years of writing and teaching writing, I've identified quite a significant number of word choice errors that students and new writers make, and oftentimes more experienced writers as well. If you send out a manuscript with these kinds of errors in them, one of two things happens. Number one, your message may be misinterpreted by the editor, agent, reader who reads it. And the second outcome is that the editor, agent, or readers who are reading your work simply think you're dumb. And I don't think any of us want either of these two outcomes. So as I said, I've observed many word pair errors throughout my career. Here are 5 of the ones that probably bug me the most and that bug editors the most. The first one is the word simple versus the word simplistic. I don't know when this became such an issue, but all of a sudden people seem to be saying simplistic when they mean simple. It occurs to me that sometimes people think that it sounds like they're more intelligent if they use the word simplistic instead of simple. The problem is that the two things don't mean the same thing. They're related, but they're not exactly the same, and the message is different. Here's an example. It was a simple solution to the problem. Simple means presenting no difficulty. But if you look at the second example, it was a simplistic solution to the problem. Simplistic means treating complex issues as if they were simpler than they are. And the suggestion in the second example is that the simplistic solution is created by someone who doesn't really know what they're talking about. These are two completely different meanings. So if you mean the word simple, say the word simple. Word pair number 2, childlike versus childish. Why is it so difficult to get these words right? They mean something similar to one another, but the implications are quite different. Let's look at this example. Susan's awe had a childlike quality to it. This means that Susan has the good qualities of a child, childlike. Look at this one. Susan's reaction was childish. Not the same thing at all. Childish means silly and immature. So although they're both related to child, they don't mean the same thing. Word pair number 3. This is one that I'm sure you have heard a lot, and perhaps you've even used it. And this is the difference between the word literally and figuratively. Well, don't get me started on how mixed up these words have become. All of a sudden, the word literally is sprinkled all over everybody's conversation and is seeping into writing as well. Literal means that something actually occurred. Figuratively speaking means metaphorically. So for example, if you were to say or to write, I was literally starving, It is incorrect unless the truth of it is that you are in the middle of a famine and you're actually starving. What you're really saying is that I haven't eaten for weeks and I'm feeling ill and I'm in the middle of a famine. The truth is that people in the middle of a famine are literally starving. You are not. Word pair number 4, nauseated versus nauseous. Now this is one that has stumped me on more than one occasion, and I know that I've used the word nauseous when I really mean nauseated. Here's the difference between these two words. Look at the first example. The roller coaster made me nauseated, which is correct. The second sentence is the nauseous roller coaster affected all of us. The word nauseous actually means something that causes nausea. Something which is nauseous is something which will result in feeling nauseated. They're similar, but they don't mean the same thing. Interestingly enough, nauseous has become so widely misused that even people who should know better are using it. But just because someone who should know better and who's been writing for a long time uses it and uses it incorrectly doesn't mean you have to too. Word pair number 5, averse versus adverse. Oh, what a difference one letter can make. Look at this example. I was not averse to the decision, but I didn't fully understand it. Averse means feeling in opposition to something. In other words, you can have an aversion to something, for example, that you don't like, and that means you're in opposition to it. And that's one of the ways to understand the difference between averse and adverse. Look at this example of the use of the word adverse. She had an adverse reaction to her vaccination. Adverse means something that's acting in opposition to something, or it's harmful or hurtful. The two words are not the same. Well, those are my 5. I'm sure someday I'll do 5 more because there are many. But I have one last tip for you. Your spell checker or your grammar checker are not necessarily going to pick these up. Your spell checker definitely will not. And if you have an excellent grammar checker, it may pick these up from time to time, but not always. So it's better if you know the rules so that an individual person is actually doing the proofreading. That's it for me today. See you next time. Subscribe to Write, Fix, Repeat. And maybe I can help you improve your writing knowledge and skills. 5 tips at a time.